The Bible says in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. And in John 1:14 it says that the Word that was God became flesh and walked among us. That eternal Word, the eternal Word of God became flesh and walked among us.
Christ is King! Christ is King! Christ is King!
Let all that you do be done in love. A Christian, when they see their society collapsing around them, doesn't cower or run in fear. He doesn't stick his head in the sand and hope that it will all change and just go away and be all right. He doesn't throw up his hands and say all is lost. A true man, when he sees a challenge, he rises to the challenge. He digs deep within his own soul to find the strength to do what is necessary to meet the challenge in front of him. And this is what as Christians we are called to do. That means that when we see our society collapsing around us, we don't run away, we don't go and join the opposition as Andrew Tate did. We don't despair. No, as Christians, we stand up for that which is good and true and noble. The tutelage of our Lord Jesus Christ calls us to bear our cross and to suffer in his way.
Any other questions, guys, before I finish? Are you ready to talk?
I don't want to interrupt your conversation.
No. Well, are you ready to talk?
I'm ready.
Good. How was your prayer?
It was good.
I'm
very
glad to hear
peaceful.
it.
And I washed myself and I feel very clean.
Right, brilliant.
It was so funny. The other day, a Christian came to me and was shouting about Holy Spirit and stuff.
Yeah.
Then afterwards, I ignored them. Then they said, "Dirty Muslim," to me. Call me a dirty Muslim, and I responded, "You may not like this." I said, "Call me a dirty Muslim. I wash my feet 5 times a day. My feet is probably cleaner than your face."
Yeah.
That was.
I don't. Yeah. No. Well, I don't think he should have.
In emotion.
Yeah. I don't think he should have said that, and I think that was uncalled for.
So, do you know what it is, Bob? Like,
go on.
Someone like you do better. Is it fair to say apologetics? Is that what you
Yes, apologetics.
It's kind of like Christian form of dawah. Is that?
Yeah. It's kind of like that.
A lot of the people, I'm from South London, right?
Yeah.
Those people, I don't know if you agree with this. Yeah. I'm just saying, objectively speaking, I'm not being biased here. A lot of the people on the streets. Especially, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't care.
Yeah.
It tends to be the Africans, the African, the black people, they're
Yeah.
shouting, Jesus, dude. I don't think that's actually productive. I don't think that actually does much.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if you guys had this conversation in your community.
I
really don't think it does. If anything, it actually makes people.
It's certainly a conversation that I tried to get started.
Is that fair to say? What I'm saying?
So
fair to say, right?
Rian, right?
Yeah.
Is that I totally agree with you that shouting at people on the street is a terrible form of evangelism, and I want to I discourage Christians from doing it. Stop shouting at people, have conversations. But
they won't listen to you.
Let's talk about something more in depth.
What's that?
Right. So, I'd like to propose to you that Christianity aids in human flourishing better than Islam. That Islam doesn't give us human flourishing.
Sure, okay.
Yeah. And the reason why I say that is because I'm sure you accept that I'm a human.
You're a human.
Yep. And I accept that you're a human.
Yeah.
And that for us both to flourish, we need to have equality under the law.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
But Sharia law doesn't give us equality under the law. It would make me into a second-class citizen to you. And thus, since the vast majority of the people in the world are not Muslim, Sharia law doesn't help human flourishing.
In terms of for most of the people.
Yeah, for most of the people.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Obviously, for Islam, ideally we want everyone in the world to become Muslim.
Yeah.
That people can flourish to its maximum way.
Yeah.
Right? Now, within terms of the Sharia law, when you say second-class citizens, what do you mean specifically? Like, like you can't eat at the same places, or you can't
I'll give
go
you
outside
I'll give you examples.
Yeah.
Right? So, by non-equality under the law.
Sorry, before we begin, by the way, I want to say something as well. I saw not long, I think a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I saw a video of there was some. I think they were Muslims. But there was a bit of like a fight, whatever.
Yeah.
I saw you fell on the floor. I think one of them pushed you on the floor, and your cameraman, etc.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
Yeah.
And I condemn it. And I want you to also remember that not all Muslims are the same.
I know.
So don't box someone like me with them.
That's okay.
Because I'll be the first person to tell them, look, the way you're behaving is against Islam. Don't behave like this.
Yeah.
You're embarrassing us. A lot of these people, by the way, I want you to bear something in mind. They're very emotional. These are some of the same people who, when they come to our mosque, they cause havoc.
Yeah.
And they don't behave the way they should in terms of their mannerisms and their etiquette.
Yeah.
Same people who probably go clubbing on the weekends, smoking this and that, and then when they come speak at school, all of a sudden they want to act to ultra.
Well, the guy that
I don't want to
instigated
assume.
that.
I want to assume
The guy that
there are
instigated.
some sincere people, but that behaviour is not correct.
The guy that instigated.
You know I disagree with you.
Yeah.
You know I don't like you with many things, right?
Yeah.
But it's about having the emotional discipline to contain yourself. Yeah, and if anything, it comes across as a bit insecure. What? Because you can't handle some words. You want to take it to a physical format. Yeah. I know there were some people who said that apparently you threw, I don't know if it's the first punch, but the first push against the elderly man.
The evidence, no.
If that is the case, then it's like, okay. Still, I don't justify it, but it's a bit more understandable in that aspect. If that was the case.
I mean, the guy was carrying a crutch.
I'm just letting you know I'm against
that's fine, and I appreciate that.
It's not right.
I appreciate that.
Please don't think we're
that's fine.
all the
I
same.
appreciate that.
We're not all the same.
So let that, and I don't. I really don't. Like, I'll take a Muslim as I find them. So if I find a polite, calm Muslim like yourself, then I take it. Like you know, if someone's irate and aggressive, then I take that. So I treat each Muslim as I find them. It just so happens that Speaker's Corner tends to attract the kind of Muslim that can't control himself and the Muslim that is a supremacist.
There are some. I would say most of the Muslims.
But I want you to understand. I don't think that represents all the Muslims out there. I really don't think that. Yeah.
It's just sometimes, you know, when I look in the comment section,
I can't control the comments.
I know, but I'm sure you're against some of the comments that they make.
Yeah, of course, especially the racist ones. So when someone starts coming out with some racial abuse,
Arab, San, I don't want to say the
sand
word.
N-words. Yeah, I'm against all of that. Anyone who's abusing people because of, and I'm particularly against people that are opposed to Islam because of hatred. Like, I'm opposed to Islam.
It should be for logical reasons,
yes.
not emotions.
I'm opposed to Islam, but I'm opposed to Islam because I love you. I want you to be in the truth. I want you to enjoy the salvation that I have. I want you to live a good life. And Islam is holding you back from that. And it leads you in a direction that away from truth and goodness.
That's where the difference is, right? Because it's almost like the same thing. Like, for example, I would love my brother Rob to pray side by side, because we ultimately believe our religion is the greatest form of goodness.
Yep.
So what I have, I believe, is the best form of goodness for you.
Yeah.
And what you have, you believe, is the best form of goodness for me.
Yeah.
Now, really, truly, what we got to do is compare that goodness and see which one is actually better.
Yeah.
And is one false, is one correct? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But sorry. I know you were talking about Sharia law, but I just want to mention that first because
that's fine.
Yeah, I want to get that out now. It wasn't right.
Okay, so let me give you an example. Would you say that if a religion encourages... Oh, by the way, are you Sunni or a Shia?
I'm Sunni.
Okay. Would you agree with me that if a religion encourages you to do something that is bad, that therefore that religion is not good, or that religion is in some way flawed, even if it might be somewhat good?
No, so if the religion itself
encourages you to
do something bad and immoral, then how can this be from God if God is the most just and is the most merciful?
Would you say deceiving your wife or not being truthful with your wife is good or bad?
Deceiving your wife in what sense? In what element?
Having another sexual relationship behind her back.
So with regards to that, I think one thing as well, and this is why it's so important for a lot of Muslim women to know their rights as well, for such relationships, etc., I believe there is flexibility. So in their contract, they can obviously put down you shouldn't be with another partner, etc. To my knowledge, I think this is something we need to look at the scholars and see what the scholars have to say. But I don't. From my knowledge, I don't recall any of the scholars say encouraging Muslims to go and cheat on their wives deceivingly or take another spouse deceivingly, promoting it. But I'm more than happy to check that.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go.
The reason why I say this is because there's two famous Dawagandists here.
Oh, Ali Dawa, Muhammad Ijab.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're on record. They're on record saying that you're not obligated to tell your first wife that you've taken a second wife. Now, your argument that, well, you could just put in the marriage contract that I don't want. One second, let me finish. So, but the problem. I don't know, bro. I'm not behind that. Probably you're really on that one. I can ask them if they'll blur you. Let me come. Right, but you stand there. That's fine. But my problem to you is, bro, as you know, this comment has been made publicly, right, by these two characters, and they have advocated that Islam teaches that you can be dishonest with your first wife about taking a second wife, right? Your counter argument, well, you can put it in the contract that you shouldn't take a second wife, assumes that every woman is of the same competence, intellect and wit to do so. But if we acknowledge that lying to your first wife is something that is immoral, if Islam permits something that's immoral, then by your own logic, you should be able to recognize that Islam is immoral.
So obviously, to determine whether it's immoral or not, I need to look at it into this context, into what kind of circumstance. Look, I have to be realistic, right? Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to please everyone. Naturally, you as a Christian, you can't please everyone. As a Muslim, you can't please everyone. It's impossible, essentially. If you want to derive into the truth, you're going to displease some people, unfortunately. Now, I have to understand, why is polygamy there in the first place? What are the practical elements behind it? And to my knowledge, and I think you would agree with this, but one of the key reasons is, look, there's, as you know, a lot of single mothers out there. A lot of single mothers, they do cause a lot of harm in the sense that there's economic, implications because of that. There may be social implications because of that. Unfortunately, you have so-called men who are scumbags who take advantage of women. They only want that one thing, sex, impregnate the woman, leave her with a child and they run off. Don't want to be a man, take accountability. They don't want to have the responsibility. Unfortunately, this leaves a huge problem. A lot of single mothers out there, these are human beings as well. They want love, they want affection, they don't want to be excluded. So I think it's one reason why also polygamy was introduced, is to counter that, And women being women, I think it's fair to say a lot of the women generally, I think you will agree, they wouldn't want their partner to have another wife. Because women naturally will be jealous. Yeah. And that's normal. Yeah. That's absolutely normal. And I think Ali Dawah also mentions that. He says it's a very normal, it's okay, brother. It's a very normal reaction for a woman to be jealous. Yeah. It's very normal. But it's the fact that if everyone was to jealous and to not allow it, then essentially there'll be so many single mothers with this problem not being catered for.
Right, so you get what I'm getting at? I get what you're saying, but let me reply. You see, in Christianity, there's a couple of things I want to say to this. Firstly, is that the first problem with polygamy is that it dishonors. It'll just blur his face. Blur your face. Okay.
I thought I'm out because it's like I'm here. Okay, no, I didn't know that. It's a wide lens, isn't it? Okay, fair.
So.
Okay, yeah, sure. But please promise.
Okay. So the first problem with polygamy is it's dishonoring of women. Women, when they enter into a marriage, they're giving 100% to the man, but the man, if they have a polygamous relationship, is only giving 25% back to each woman. They're not giving their whole self in return for the whole self. The woman is giving their whole self to the man, but the man is not giving themselves wholly to the woman. We can see that in terms of the exclusivity. A woman is giving themselves to the man exclusively, but the man is not giving himself to the woman exclusively, and so there's not a reciprocation of commitment and of energy and resources. The second problem with polygamy. No. I'll let you speak. And you made many points, so I'm replying to that. The second point is that in certain circumstances, say for instance after a war, there will be less men than women. But the thing is, women, in the Christian church, there's multiple ways that you can organize yourselves, and it doesn't always have to be in the family. And so you can create sisterhoods of mutual support, and a good society would support women. And Christians don't believe, we don't put a value on sex to the degree that you've got to get married, because as Christians we believe that you must practice chastity
Yeah.
and you must be chaste. And let's face it, most of the time, most human beings are not having sex for most of their lives unless they marry, yeah? And you shouldn't be having sex with anyone who isn't your wife. And so
Premarital sex is wrong.
and so it isn't a case that just because women are single, that therefore they're doing something wrong or a cause of harm, because society can organise itself to look after the widow and the orphan in a way that we share the burden that women
to help take care of them, essentially.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So it's not a so
it's easy on them.
So in other words, polygamy is not the only possible solution, and I'm saying it's not the best solution to women being single, say because of
That's
after
your
a
opinion,
war.
yeah. You believe like sisterhood groups and those kind of communities is better, like more viable options? Is that
It's a combination of organising women into communities of mutual support, and then the wider society supporting those communities or supporting individuals. You're saying that, well, let's do polygamy as a way of absorbing the excess women after a war where there's less men. And I'm saying to you that
not
that's
just after war, but even in general? Because I mean, polygamy, even if there's no war now.
I'm strong arming your argument.
I know.
Because if you remove war from the issue, at the ages at which men and women procreate, populations even out 50-50. So nature is pointing towards monogamy.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I would love to see like some research on that. So I'm not disputing.
Yeah.
Out of interest, I'm a very inquisitive person. If you have got any interest or any articles you can reference to show that, I'd love to take a read of that as well.
Yeah.
Does any come to your mind?
No, I can see if I can find you one.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
so that'd be great. So obviously with that solution, I'll say that's good, by the way. Sisterhood, I'm all for that. A nice community, yes, taking care as well. And I believe that's a solution that could be also alongside polygamy as well. So I don't believe it has to be either or.
Yeah.
I think polygamy can also be a solution, a viable solution. And what you said as well also sounds very logical as well. The idea of creating sisterhood, etc. Now, here is what I would say. I say, look, know that we should be chaste. Our all people, us Muslims, we're very recommended to do that, to be chaste people, to save ourselves from marriage.
It's certainly encouraged, yes.
Yes, you know that, right? And there's punishments if you don't do that, right? Very strict punishments if you do. You know what zina is, right? Zina?
Yeah.
There you go. So we have to, be chaste. That's very important for us. But these women, again, they have sexual needs as well. And it is biological, these sexual needs. And to kind of force that down, I would argue, in a way, am I helping them as much as I could? Because essentially by forcing it down as much as possible, they may not say it to you, but deep in down, maybe out of shame they might not say it to you. But deep in down they'll be like, you know what, I do kind of miss that. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I get what you're saying. Let me reply. So we expect gay men not to act on their sexual urges for their entire lives, right? So if we're willing to say to gay men and gay women, right, don't act on your sexual urges, and we're willing to say to people outside of marriage, don't act on your sexual urges, it's no different. The reality is asking people to be chaste.
I would disagree respectfully.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Asking people to be chaste is normal to both of our religions.
Yeah, very normal.
So outside of marriage, we're asking people to be chaste. Now, I just want to point out, right? So, I mean, it's from Wikipedia. I don't know whether you want to accept this, but Our World in Data. So I don't know what website this is. Yeah. Obviously, I'm doing this on the hoof. Right? Says the sex ratio at birth is not equal in every country. Births are male biased. Male biased. Not female biased, male biased. There are biological reasons why there are slightly more boys born every year than girls. The natural sex ratio at birth is around 105 boys per 100 girls, ranging from around 103 to 107 boys. Right? Now, there's obviously biological reasons for this. It's because men are violent, because of war.
Show me the title of it.
I
love research.
It's from, in this context here, we have...
I think it's at the top, the title.
Yeah, it is Gender Ratio by Hannah Ritchie and Max Rosa. The article was first published in June 2019. In this context here, we have, however, decided to make an exception. We speak of the gender ratio bear with us. It's clearly an academic paper, more accurate term, and it is increasingly used within academic literature.
I need to look into it.
Right?
Obviously.
So, yeah, but my point to you is, the reason why more boys are born than women is because men and human society is violent, and so you need an excess of men for the wars. Right. So wars have already been... Like, don't, brother... You talked about etiquette and manners. This brother interrupts me constantly.
We were talking about, LGBT and stuff.
Bye. Right. He's rude to me every week, bro. He's rude to me every week. Every week he behaves like that. Now, the thing is, bro. No, hold on. The thing is, bro.
Because he didn't say anything rude to you guys.
He interrupted. He's done it every week. He didn't apologise to me, he apologised to you, as if I didn't exist, even though he interrupted the both of us.
He didn't apologise to you.
He listened to, like, every week, bro, watch the videos, every week he interrupts me, I ask him not to, and he ignores me. You ask him not to, and he listens to you. So that demonstrates to me that he thinks that my dignity is less than your dignity.
No, I didn't ask him not to interrupt.
Yeah, well, I'm on camera, bro.
Oh, no,
yeah.
I was talking about those discussions.
Sorry, I'm in a conversation, bro. So anyway, like I was saying,
I didn't ask him not to. I'll just explain to him what we were talking about before.
Let's go back to this. So there's more boys born than women to account for the fact of wars and violence. So you have more boys because you need an excess of men for the wars, and biologically. That's how we're programmed.
You need more boys to access the war. But if you have a child, you don't decide whether it's a boy.
No, of course you don't decide. Nature. No, I'm just. I've got off camera. I'm just in a conversation. Yes, but I'm in a conversation. Yes. Yeah.
Would you be here for a while?
I'll probably be going around 7, but I am. Yeah, but I'm. Yeah. Let me finish my. Yeah. Thank you. So back to this. Right.
Yeah.
So nature. Or God, I mean, we both believe in God.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because of wars, God is producing more boys than women. Because he knows about the wars and you need men to fight wars.
That's happening in scripture.
What?
Is that in scripture?
It's happening in nature, bro.
No, but I'm saying, is there anywhere in scripture that says God will produce more boys for war? I'm just asking.
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, okay.
But as Christians, we believe in the use of natural law. So we accept that God reveals some of his will.
In order for there to be order.
And his attributes in nature. Can learn God's thoughts after it, right?
Yeah.
But the point is, nature is not pointing to polygamy.
Yes.
Nature is pointing to monogamy.
From this research, obviously I'll need to look into it.
Yeah.
But with polygamy, right? Even if you look at our shuyukh and our scholars,
yeah,
a lot of the scholars would actually say yes, it's permitted, it's allowed, right? They won't say it's not allowed, but they would also say, look, if you don't meet the criteria, if you can't do justice, don't stay away from it. You don't need to do it because you have to understand it's an obligation. At the end of the day, this is someone's daughter. You need to treat them with the utmost care and respect. If you're doing it just to fulfill some sexual desires you have, what kind of man is this?
I agree.
This is disgusting behavior.
I agree.
But you'll find a lot of scholars, we're talking real proper knowledgeable scholars here, yeah? From the Salaf, right? If you look at the likes of Sheikh bin Baz, rahimahullah, Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen, Sheikh Albani, rahimahullah, I don't know if you've heard of them, right? But these are the scholars that we often
I've heard of some of them.
Yeah, exactly. And they will literally tell you, you'll be doing a major injustice. If you know yourself, you're doing this primarily for sexual desires,
yep.
You're not going to cater for them. You're not going to really show that justice and that care and that almost responsibility that you're obliged to show from God, right? You have to stay away from it, or else you'll be asked a question about it on the day of judgment.
But my point to you is that
I'm just saying that's it.
Yeah.
I feel that's it.
But my point to you is there's an intrinsic injustice behind polygamy. And
if it's not done properly, I agree with you. If it's not done properly.
Well, no, even if it was done properly, there's an intrinsic injustice because a woman, each of those 4 women, is giving 100% of themselves to the man. But the man is not giving, clearly not giving 100% of himself to each of those women because it doesn't matter how. It doesn't matter in any sense. Emotionally, psychologically and physically, as well as financially, he's not going to be able to treat them identically. Just can't. You just can't do it. Like parents desperately try to treat their children equally, but they can't do it because children relations. So my point to you is that.
But I'm saying, is that unjust of the parents? They're trying their utmost best to take them with the absolute care. I've grown up with four siblings, right? And they do their utmost best to take care of us, and we love the care that they've given us. We're happy with it. So ultimately, is our parents still to blame?
So in answer to your question, and to make sure you clearly understand the point I'm making, the original point I'm making,
25%.
the original point I'm making was that polygamy, Islam permits the lying within the boundaries of polygamy. It really permits the idea of deceiving your first wife if you take a second wife, if she hasn't had the wit or the gumption to put it in the marriage contract.
You know about that marriage contract thing, right?
Yes, they have the right to write their own terms. But if they aren't clever enough, witty enough, to go, right, I'm going to say that he has to tell me if he takes a second wife or that he can't take a second wife, then that means Islam permits him. Right, remember, the average person is not trained to write a legal contract.
I'm saying if
the reason why, and I'm saying that any deception is an injustice.
I understand where you're saying from your perspective.
Yeah,
again, it goes back to practicality.
Is lying, except for a more justifiable reason, like say saving a life. Is lying not an injustice?
So there are some lies which I don't consider an injustice, and I think it's necessary.
What about taking a second wife?
There are some lies, etc.
Is it necessary to lie to your first wife when taking a second wife?
If the circumstance permits it.
Give me a circumstance.
With the situation. So, for example, with war, etc. Right? If we're seeing loads of women who've lost their husbands, etc., they've died, etc., especially at a time when no one could cater for them, right? We don't have, like today, the boss babes and the Instagram, boss babe that you see today, right? At a time
I don't know what websites you're looking around.
Instagram, when I say boss babe, there's women that say they're entrepreneurs, they're business ladies, etc. Not like today, right? Where, they're poor one day, open up an OnlyFans account, and they're millionaires the next day, unfortunately.
So you mean you are allowed to lie to your wife to
have a second wife?
To have second wife.
Yeah.
To say anything to her.
So with certain circumstances,
Like what?
I don't find it. I'm explaining.
Give me one.
That's what I'm explaining. Yeah. So what I was saying is, if they lost their husbands, etc., and we're seeing there's a real problem here, actual practical issue here, and there's a load of women who mentally they're going to really struggle. It's going to affect them physically as well as under the biological needs. I think in such cases, right, it actually.
But what's that got to do with lying to your first wife? Hold on one second. Even if that was a justification of taking a second wife, which I don't believe it is. Well, one second.
This is what I said. We need to go back to the scholars.
If that was a justification for taking a second wife, which I don't believe that it is. Well, how does that justify lying to your first wife? Why not just go, hey, wait, 1 second.
The scholars say you should speak to your first wife.
Which would be better?
The scholars say you should consult your first wife.
According to Ali Dawah and Muhammad Hijab, you don't necessarily. According to Muhammad Hijab and Ali Dawah,
it's not obligatory.
Exactly, but shouldn't telling the.
But
1 second.
The scholars say out of courtesy is
Rian, I've got a better religion for you. It's called Christianity, and in Christianity, your normative behavior should be honesty and truthfulness. It isn't an extra optional add-on. It isn't if you prefer. It isn't if you think it wise. Being honest is normative Christian behavior. And would you agree that being honest and truthful is better, is essential. And in the wait 1 second. And in the most fundamental relationships, like that with which we're talking about in terms of when you're sharing your bed with someone, when you're sharing those kind of levels of intimacy, don't you think that in all places, the place where honesty and truthfulness should be as close to 100% as possible, that should be there?
Yeah, absolutely. There should always be honesty and truthfulness.
Right, so given what you've just agreed to...
we should always be honest, we should always be sincere.
Unless we're taking a second wife.
Very transparent.
But we're talking about Islam, it's allowed.
Sorry, go on, folks.
There's more adultery.
I didn't interrupt you.
I'm not, go on.
You're talking rubbish.
Go on, finish.
No, I tell you why.
He said,
No, we're having a conversation.
We're having different opinions.
We're having a conversation. Go on, bro.
I disagree, but Bob disagrees with me.
Go on, bro. I'm listening. I'm
Let's have a
listening.
respectful
yeah, but
conversation.
Go on, I'm
I'm
listening.
saying that he's talking about Christianity and being an honest religion, but there's more adultery happening in the West with the Christians.
What's that
than
got to do
any
with it?
But you
There's
yourself-
more in the Muslim world than anywhere else.
But you just said
Right,
in
go on.
bed.
Right,
but you said
right.
in
So
bed.
let us focus. Let us focus. Just ignore them. Focus. Finish your point.
These people drop nuclear bombs.
Just focus.
He's a liar. Don't waste your time with this
Because you
idiot.
don't be honest in the bedroom.
Slavery, nuclear
When I talk about
weapons.
adultery,
Don't
he
waste your
goes,
time with
These are your brothers. No Christians behaving like this.
That's not fair to say. You haven't seen all Christians to make that conclusion.
Yeah.
From your experiences, you're limited to your experience, yeah? Okay, so what I'm saying is this, right? No doubt we should be honest, we should be sincere. But at the same time, Islam, what I would argue, is a more practical religion than Christianity. And so what we would say is we want to cater for these women. And unfortunately, we won't be able to please everyone, right? Now, obviously, with the scholars and the Shaykh, they say you should, out of courtesy, have that discussion with your wife rather than keeping her in the blind spot. Yeah, but we're going to differ on this matter. I don't want to keep going back and forth. Do you want to talk about something else? We disagree. We've discussed
Okay.
everything really.
Okay. Do you want to stop there, or do you want to bring in a question yourself?
Talk about the Nazis being Christians.
I'm sorry. I'm talking to him.
I'm talking to you. This is a free country. I can
I'll talk to you afterwards.
No, you can talk to me now.
Go on, you were
Because
saying.
you made a very dumb comment that a lot of these Westerners make, and we let them get away with it. No way, we let them get away with it. They are the most destructive people, bro. World War I.
And yet you choose to live here.
Oh no, because you stole our wealth, so now we're here to steal it again. We're here to steal the wealth.
No.
We're here to take free health care.
No.
We're here to
It's a
take
secular
free
humanist
housing.
country. Yeah,
We're here
it's
to
a
take
secular
all the
humanist
resources that you took.
So
We're here to take your
this country
resources.
is, it used to be.
You got that on camera, guys.
Yeah, we're here to take the resources.
There you go.
You stole all our resources.
This
we're
is
here to steal yours.
uncontrolled immigration.
Uncontrolled.
That's
We're
what
here
it
to
looks
steal
like
your
here on
resources.
camera.
We're here to steal the resources
There
that
you go.
stole. This
There you go.
country, every single brick
Ladies and gentlemen.
in England is stolen.
Obviously,
Every single brick.
a alt-right wing activist who's
Right.
just cammed up.
Yeah, that's right. I'm here. I'm on camera. You can get me. I don't care. This guy, the guy behind the camera's a.
There you go. There you go.
Hey, which one? One guy on the...
Yeah.
No, this
Which guy? Okay.
guy wearing
There's
the
three
Von
people
Dutch.
behind the
Guy wearing
camera.
the Von Dutch. Looking like
The
a.
Christian is.
That won't let it go.
Me and you were doing well. Me and you were doing
No,
well.
they're liars.
Yeah.
They're liars.
Yeah.
They're.
We will. Hey, I'll tell you what. Yeah, let's meet off camera.
Filthy
Let's meet off
people.
camera.
He's filthy.
The reason
He
why I
needs to
didn't want to
take
be
a
on camera
shower.
is because,
He has a
speakers
shower.
put on
He's
people have
filthy.
egos.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure as a Muslim, my intentions are in the right place. I'm not doing it to gain praise.
You can't take
I'm not doing it to
advice
get
from people who
compliments
don't
from
shower.
Muslims and whatnot.
Thanks,
That's
Vito.
why I want to come
Smart.
off camera.
Thanks,
We can
Vito.
have a private discussion.
You got my card, right?
You didn't give me it.
Oh,
you
I'll
said
give
you
you
give it to me.
I'll give it to you now.
But-
Let's meet off camera. Let's meet away from the corner, away from the
The
ego.
number or something.
I'm going to give it you.
Or we can go in a Zoom call or a
Yeah,
Teams
yeah,
thing.
absolutely, absolutely.
Because look,
There you
you
go.
and I both know
There
we
you go.
disagree with each other.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
Complete opposite spectrum. It's about having these conversations in a respectful way.
I
It's
agree.
about being able to have emotional discipline.
And me and you were able to do that until he jumped in.
Again,
And the other guy
remember
jumped
what
in.
did I say? All of us Muslims are not the same.
I know.
Yeah? Some of the words and language he's using,
Yeah.
I would say it's against Qur'an and Sunnah. For the way he behaves, it's against Islam.
Yeah.
Some of the things,
Good.
I think you mentioned a swear word, etc. We
You
don't
did.
agree with it.
Yeah.
And we're very clear about this.
Have you got a DVD player?
Who
does DVDs? Dude, I'm just stuck with old DVDs. No, if you ain't got a DVD player, it's
What
no
is
good.
it? And then no, because my brother may have one. He lives next, he's not far. So if it's very important, I'll take it and I'll give it a listen.
Have you got a DVD? Could you listen to it? Could if I gave it to you, could you actually use it?
Yeah, my brother should have a DVD player.
Okay. Have a watch of that, and then let's talk about it.
to him. Why are you talking to me?
Yeah. Like, I've got to offload these to someone. I can't find anyone with a DVD player anymore.
Okay.
This is my card. So you got my contact details.
Yeah. I'll give
You got.
What's your email, yeah?
Yeah, that's my email. Get in touch.
We'll set up like a scene call.
Yeah, let's organise.
When are you free? Because I'm working Monday to Friday.
I'm now a full-time evangelist, bro, so I can be free when do this full-time
As
now.
a Muslim,
People are becoming Christians, bro. People are becoming.
But I want to ask you a question.
Yeah, go on. Go on.
Honest question. Let's step away.
Yeah. Go on. What's your question?
Honest question.
Yeah, honest question.
Are there more people becoming Muslims than more people becoming Christians? Not
Statistically,
talking about birth rates. and
right?
stuff.
Yeah.
Conversion.
Statistically, conversion rates, according to Pew Research, the fastest religious movement of growth in terms of Christianity and Islam.
Did it say Pentecostal Christians?
Yes, Pentecostal Christians.
Yeah.
A bit, and the example that they give.
What country was it in, man?
It's actually not a country. It's across the entire world. The entire world. So in terms of, and we use Africa as an example, right? So Islam is undeniably growing in Africa. There's no doubt about it. Islam is, but when you chart,
is it increasing in the West as well?
when you do a chart of Islamic growth in Africa compared to the growth of Pentecostalism in Africa, Islam's growing like that. Pentecostalism's growing like that.
A link or something?
Yeah, I think I could probably find you that.
Please do.
Can I find it maybe for the next Zoom call, for our first Zoom call?
There's no way you can find it. I
I'll
get so
see.
passionate. I love research.
Yep.
That's why. If you don't mind.
I mean, I found you the paper. I found you the paper on,
I'm sorry.
you know,
Just
male,
this one.
female.
Would it take you long? Is that why?
No.
Okay, thank you.
No, it doesn't.
the little
Well,
one. Yeah.
I mean, it may do. Let's hope it doesn't. But this brother's been very patiently waiting to talk to me, and I promised him that I would talk to him before I left.
I just want to say one last thing.
Yeah, go
one
on.
last thing. You and I would agree, especially today's society, what is the biggest threat?
Bear with me 1 second. Pentecostal church growth.
Take your time.
Going back to the point about what the father.
And you know his point about, we shouldn't speak to the kuffar, then how can we give dawah?
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense.
He's not really thought it through.
This is what I'm saying. Some of these, they speak about emotion rather than intellect. The emotions override the intellect. Do you understand? So it's important for you as a Christian, if you want to be sincere, you distinguish the two. You don't put him in the same box as someone like me. Do you get it?
Yeah, bear with us.
Yeah. How does tomorrow sound, by the way? If I give you an email, will you think you'll be
Tomorrow's a bank holiday.
What is it?
It's bank holiday.
Oh, it's bank holiday.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got tomorrow off then. What am I talking about, man?
Right, I'm going on Religion Media Centre. Let's see what it says.
That's Pew, yeah?
Islam and Christianity growing in Africa.
Is that Pew research, you said?
No, this is not Pew Research. This is just an article.
Now, can you show me the Pew research one? If possible.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. If tomorrow's bank holiday, then isn't that better for us?
What, sorry?
For us to talk?
Yeah, well, no, because I'm on a holiday. It's a bank holiday, so I won't be
Oh, you
working.
want to relax? Okay, I understand.
Let's see if I can find
So
it.
if you're full-time, is it kind of like a job, like you get salary and stuff like that?
So I'm supported.
Yeah, you're funded basically.
Yeah, I'm funded.
Yeah. And it's like full-time basically. And
You see, the thing is, the moment you put Christianity and Islam into one sentence, you get up a million things that aren't relevant to what you've put.
Type in Pew research.
Yeah, I did. Look, Pew Research.
If you need some time, no worries. Get it for me for our Zoom call or whatever.
Yeah.
I love to see. I love reading, like research, etc.
Definitely.
What I was asking you, I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to rush you. I was going to say to you, the biggest threat of today. Do you agree that it's not Islam, that it's liberalism?
No, actually, I don't.
You think it's Islam?
I think it is Islam, and the reason is this.
You know, your cameraman said it's liberalism.
Well, he's entitled to his
entitled to
opinion.
his belief.
Right,
Really? You reckon?
yes, really, and here's why.
I'm surprised by that. You know?
Here's why.
Yeah.
Both me and you know that liberalism hasn't got the legs. Both me and you know that
Say
liberalism.
That today. Listen,
you
probably said that 20
know,
years ago. Did you think today it was going to be like this? Be honest with me.
Well, 20 years ago, I wasn't
easy
even
to
thinking
now.
about these kinds of questions.
10 years
but,
ago.
But the point is, liberalism, the more society liberalises, the more it doesn't have kids. So the liberals are just going to... The liberals don't own the future.
But that can affect mine and your families.
Yeah.
If our children get indoctrinated.
Absolutely.
That's concerning.
And wherever Christianity gives way to liberalism, it ends up that you end up having less children. Anyway, I've got to go. I promised that kid a conversation.
We'll carry on.
Yeah. Luke, nice talking to you. God bless. Take care. Right.